It's no doubt that being in the military is typically viewed as a man's role. People assume that the requirements of being in the military, being physically fit and able to withstand gruesome violence, are two things only suited to men. It wasn't until 1917 and 1918, the last 2 years of World War I, that women were finally able to join the military during times of war. And in fact, during that time, over 33,000 women enlisted. However, their roles were still not entirely the same as men, as they only served as nurses and support staff rather than in combat, and they were still discriminated against. It wasn't until 1948 that Congress passed the Women's Armed Services Integration Act, which allowed women permanent status in the military rather than just during times of war. And then it wasn't until 1976 that the first females were admitted to service academies, including the U.S. Military Academy at West Point, U.S. Naval Academy at Annapolis, and the Air Force Academy. Even still, in 1978, women were able to serve on ships as technicians, nurses, and officers, but only non-combat. It was only in the early 90s that the military began to allow women to enter combat, finally giving them the same opportunities as men. Today, I'm going to interview my mom about her experience in the Army and any sexism she experienced during her service. Did you experience any sexism while in ROTC in college or in the Army?
It surprised me. It was actually a female captain who at one time told me I was not being feminine enough. She still told me I should carry myself as a woman. And I just said, we're supposed to be camouflaged, gender shouldn't matter, and is that cherry red lipstick regulation?
Damn on 'em, mom's a savage!
I have run into other sexist remarks. I joined a battalion. It was all male. I was the first female officer. And I was there, and a drill sergeant is just, kind of yelling at the privates, "Come on, you can throw better than that. You throw like a girl." And I just leaned over and I went, "Drill sergeant, do you need a female demonstration?" So I threw a grenade, and then he turned to the privates. He goes, "You don't even throw as good as a girl."
So in what ways did you defy stereotypes?
Again, a lot of people are expecting the men to be doing it. I'd be out there, doing the road marches with them. I'd be putting on the full camouflage. And I had a bunch of people surprised I did it, and they would even say, "We're surprised you did it, not just because you're an officer, but because you're a woman."
For what reason or reasons did you decide to resign from the Army?
It wasn't easy. We were being sent to a country where the culture towards women was very different. The women were submissive, the women were not supposed to speak, and yet they wanted me to go over as a commanding officer. I've never felt there was any other reason why women couldn't be in the military.
Because you just said that, other than that, you really never saw any reason why, a woman shouldn't be in the Army or anything. Was there ever a time when, someone made you feel as though you shouldn't be?
I've actually had civilian people tell me I should be at home with my children. I should not be going, to serve in the military. I should be home with my children. So it was interesting to hear my mom talk about sexism in the military.
Earlier, I spoke about the progress of gender equality in the military over the years, and while on paper and most literally, the military no longer discriminates against women because of things like the Women's Armed Services Integration Act, it is only beneath the surface that a person discovers the hidden sexism. We've talked a lot in class about gender roles and how they've changed over time with feminist movements and strong, independent female figures like Flappers and Rosie the Riveter. And while gender roles have changed drastically, women still suffer sexism in different aspects of their lives. What I found most interesting, though, was how my mom spoke about the remarks from other women. The idea that she was not feminine enough or that she shouldn't be in the Army because she should be with her children at home is unfortunate. While society has greatly shifted from the image of a stay-at-home mom to a more active mom in the community, some people have still not let that old ideal go. It's a shame that people have the indecency to make such remarks when she is fighting for our country, for that person's independence. This was a very insightful interview, as I wish to join the military when I'm older, and I now truly know what I can expect being a woman in the military.